Hello everybody, welcome to European Hidden Gem Stocks. This is a channel where I do deep dives on small European growth companies that are flying under the radar. And this is the one that I've been following for a few years. Let's get into it. The company is called Wise PLC, formerly known as TransferWise, and it trades on the London Stock Exchange. You can find it very easily if you type in Wise into Yahoo Finance or Google Finance. It trades at about 28 times earnings. It's a medium cap or mid cap, 11 billion Great British pounds. And the company slogan, you guessed it, money without borders, and that's their bread and butter. It was founded back in 2010 by a guy called Christo Carmen, and he's a co-founder of the business, formerly TransferWise. And the company, it's a great story how the company was formed, largely formed out of frustration with traditional banks. So back at that time, Christo was working for a company based in London. I think it was Deloitte or another financial firm, and he had to send money back to Estonia, his native country, to pay off a mortgage and pay bills. And he was getting screwed by the legacy banks, getting charged 2, 3, 4, 5% in some cases. And he decided to say he just had enough of it and decided, bugger this, I'm going to start my own business. I can do this a lot better, a lot quicker, a lot cheaper. They've grown today to be a formidable sized business with 6,500 employees. I like some qualities of this business because it's got high insider ownership and low institutional ownership, relatively speaking. Um, it does have a little bit of analyst coverage, so it's not 100% hidden gem undiscovered, but I think it's still uh, not a real hype stock, not really talked about that much compared to other fintechs out there like Revolut, SoFi, Remitly, all those other types of businesses based in the US. So yes, I do think this is flying under the radar a bit, and I think it has a lot of room to run. Full disclosure, I do own shares in the company and I am a customer. Hence why I'm doing this deep dive and hence why I can give you a bit of a personal view about what the company does and how they provide products and services to customers and what problems they solve. This is a 5-year chart I took from Google Finance just a few minutes ago, and you can see the stock has run up quite nicely after the 2022 rate hike cycle that was happening across the world through central banks. But now it's gone on a bit of a run since 2022, and I started buying the stock around 2024ish. So of course I bought at the top here and had to watch it go down and down and down. But eventually they started posting some good results. Like some of the analysts and some of the market didn't generally appreciate some of the things I was saying around lowering take rates and that, which we'll get into in a bit. But yeah, I think the company's been doing well. They've been delivering on what they've set out to do. They said they were going to do. So yeah, I think the overall stock will do very well as long as it can crack this peak back here in 2021. So once it gets past that, there will be hardly any resistance and it can go on a run, hopefully. The simple question, what do they do, can be answered by the company's motto, money without borders. They do exactly what they say on the tin. They create accounts for people that frequently travel, that live overseas, that have business ventures overseas, and they provide a service that allows you to seamlessly transfer money from currency to currency with minimal fees and at high speed. That's a simpler explanation as I can give. They have three main products: the Wise account, which is useful for travelers, um, people wanting to have multiple different currencies on one card. They have a Wise business offering. This is mostly targeted toward freelancers and small to medium enterprises. Um, this is something that's really useful for doing business overseas in multiple different jurisdictions, in multiple different tax systems. It's just it's a really good product and service. And the last bit is the whole back-end infrastructure tech stack that they've built over the years. So they have partnerships all over the world with a number of different banks that enables them to transfer money the way that they do. So if you want to know how it works and how it differs from legacy banking systems, when you send a transfer through Wise, formerly known as TransferWise, your monies, whether it be euros or Great British pounds, it doesn't physically leave the country. Instead, They use a clever matching system that matches your payment in euros and destined to be pounds with someone else who wants to do the opposite. So they do swapsies. Okay, so they partner with banks that allow them to do these swapsies sort of payments and match up payments and uh, so, fulfill all of these remittances all over the world without your money having to leave the country. Now, why is that important? Because it takes transfers that used to take days into seconds, and I'll explain it a bit further in the next slide. Just a few quick notes on how they make money. The lion's share of their revenue is cross-border border transfers, so that's their core business: cross-border remittances, cross-border payments. Okay, and then the next part is card revenue. So they make the bulk of their revenues from cross-border payments, then card revenue, then other revenues. So underlying interest income, that's from balances sitting in customers' accounts that are doing nothing, gathering dust. So they make money on the revenues from people sending money overseas to and from, and the cards and other revenue from things like Wise Platform, which we'll get into in a little bit, and people having balances in their accounts that's not doing anything. So another key question, why do I like it? And there are multiple different answers to this, so please bear with me. Let me break it through what the advantage, what the value proposition is for the business. It's high speed, low cost, resilient, and scalable equals superior growth for the company. Now let's talk about high speed. Now, to give you an idea of what high speed is, I sent a sample screenshot into my Substack post about this company, and consistently it takes around 7 seconds for me to transfer money all across the world in the major currency pairs. I'm talking euros, Australian dollars, US dollars, Great British pound. So if you're in the major currency pairs, it always takes around 7 to 10 seconds. And I've never experienced a situation where it's taken longer than a few minutes. All right, so that's high speed. Well, if you're using a legacy bank, like a traditional bank, that would take days, perhaps even weeks. And therein lies the frustration with a lot of people. We live in a society now where it's not unrealistic to expect things to happen instantly rather than waiting. Low costs and what the costs are associated with the cross-border transfers, on average for all currency pairs, it is this is called the take rate. And the take rate is the cut Wise gets from all transfers, and it's 0.53%. Compare that to legacy banks, you're looking at 2, 3, 4%. And in the major currency pairs, it goes even lower. So think about US dollars to Great British pounds or US dollars to euro. That take rate is going to be something more like 0.3, zero point 0.2, something like that. But for the least popular currency pairs, it's going to be a little bit higher, so it averages out. So Wise plans to reduce this take rate, and this take rate is their moat. So that's what they mean by high speed, low cost, resilient will drive growth. So that's their moat. Another thing I like is the TAM. So the TAM for this company is absolutely massive. They're only cracking less than 5% of the total addressable market of annual remittances. Now think about what they can do if they moved into small to medium enterprises and large corporations. The total addressable market is absolutely massive, and they have built a global network which powers all of their high speed, low cost transfers, and that's major banks, large financial institutions across the country. What got me interested was they also partner with new interactive brokers, Google Pay, Morgan Stanley, Standard Chartered, big players in the financial space, and they're using Wise. It's pretty impressive, and that's pretty much why I like it. Just a few more dot points on why I like it. It's highly profitable business. The gross margin's 80%, the net income margin is 25%. So for every £100 they make, they keep 25. It's a really profitable business. The return on capital, the return on total equity metrics are just nuts. Um, and another thing I didn't talk about earlier, it's a sticky product. Like they sort of promote themselves as a card or an account where you can take a card overseas and it'll work everywhere. And I can attest to this, it does work everywhere. You can use the card at ATMs all across the world, and when you get home, you can just use them at home as well, because a lot of people use them as their daily drive, or I like to call it, where if you know the card works everywhere, why would you stop using it when you get home? So there's that rationale, and there's low fees. It's high ease. The app, it's super simple to use. It's just a very good user friendly product. Now, it's not all sunshine and puppies, because there are a few things that I've come across and other people have come across online that have left sour taste in the mouth. And there are frustrations with some of the laws that they have to comply with, called Know Your Customer and money laundering laws. So from time to time, financial institutions like Wise and that, they need to check, verify that the money that you're putting into your account is legitimate. They need to prove that you're human. They need to comply with a lot of EU laws and regulations around this sort of stuff. And there's no getting around it. People have had a lot of frustrations with not just Wise, but also other companies like Revolut, other banks, other financial institutions to um, just they're saying, "Oh, my account's been deactivated. I've been blocked. I've been banned. You stole my money. It's a scam." It's not a scam. It's just an unfortunate um, set of laws that they have to comply with that doesn't allow them a lot of flexibility to help you out sometimes. So if they suspect you're money laundering money, they're under no obligation. And I don't think they're allowed to even tell you why they've frozen your account. So there's a lot of things they have to comply with that doesn't seem really fair, but it doesn't really look good for the company. Um, they're very, from what I've heard, they're very suspect of crypto-related funds. So if you've deposited from a crypto-related business entity, it probably won't work, and you'll probably be asked a series of questions in similar format to the anti-money laundering stuff. The other risk is the rise of crypto fiat transfers, and what I mean by that is people like so companies like Robinhood, SoFi, they're starting to look at these other remittance options that involve transferring your money into crypto. So taking your money, your US dollars, turning it into a stable coin or another crypto asset, and then turning it back to fiat. So using those sorts of networks, those blockchain networks, it's quick, yeah, but it may involve fees, and that could be higher or lower than what Wise currently charges. Don't know yet. So it's going to be an interesting space to check out how the take rate on crypto fiat transfers and how it compares to what Wise is doing. I don't have too much of a. I'm not too scared of what the crypto fiat uh, companies are trying to promote, because they need to on ramp and off ramp into fiat currencies, and that's going to have FX exchange fees. So it's gonna cost something, and I'm not sure if it's going to be able to match Wise's take rate for the most popular currency pairs like US dollar, euros, um, euro, Great British pound, and the like. Um, the last one I've got here is execution risk. They have to deliver on growing volumes to justify take rate decline. And in a few slides ago, I showed you how their take rate has declined over the years, and they need to be able to justify reducing that take rate with much improved volume. So if volumes begin to slow down, that's going to be a major concern of mine looking forward into the future, because it may not be sustainable to lower take rates without the volumes to back them up. So let me wrap this up by saying Wise PLC, I think, is an 8 out of 10 hidden gem stock. It is a disruptor with a huge total addressable market. It's faster, cheaper, and more reliable and easier to use than other things that I've used in the past, than legacy banks, and I do think it's got a bright future ahead of it. So let me give the disclosures again. I do own stocks in the company, and I am a customer of Wise PLC. However, I have not been paid or given any perks from Wise PLC to make this video. And this is not financial advice, of course. Please don't buy or sell based on this information alone. Please do your own research. Please support me by going to my Substack and being a subscriber, and also hitting me up on Patreon. I'd love to hear from you, hear your experiences on Wise, and I love to talk stocks in general. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic day.